Good evening, everybody. I'm so happy to be here, and I'd like to welcome you to participate with us tonight. I will sing a couple of songs, preparing our places to receive the gospel according to Spiritism. Welcome. When the life lends a hand, it's time to open up your heart. It is time to love one another. It's time to take part. Vibrate our ways, loving and serving everyone. Vibrate our ways, loving and serving everyone. When we give our heart in charity, our lives are transforming into song. Our dreams become reality, and we join Jesus for eternity. Vibrate our ways, loving and serving everyone. Vibrate our ways, loving and serving everyone. When we give our heart in charity, our lives are transforming into song. Our dreams become reality, and we join Jesus for eternity. Song to Mother Zephyrina. Songs of love that radiates, warming up our cold nights, support and comfort, support and comfort, as it's found down the mountain, calling the children of earth with love in their heart, with love in their heart. My soul never loses hope, because her love always teaches me the solution lies in her home. The solution lies in her home. Oh, my mother Zephyrina, harvest of wonderful blessings. Make yours blossom, my good Christians. Make yours blossom, my good Christians.
How is life in the spiritual world? Would you like to learn more about it? Join us to study and learn together about this and many other topics.
Sometimes it's not so easy. Sometimes it's not so close. Sometimes we build our dreams, but then we see them decompose. When you feel down the dumps, feeling sad and blue, give life a chance, my friend. The sun will shine again on you. Believe you can come through. The rainy days are true. Have little faith in you. Maybe tomorrow you can dream all your dreams again. Though some sorrow remains, it doesn't mean the end. Believe you can come through. The rainy days are true. Sometimes okay to feel blue. Have little faith in you. Dream all your dreams again. Though some sorrow remains, your dreams can get you through. Have little faith in you.
When I go in to pray, I look for my good Jesus. And when I close my eyes, I can feel all His light. I open my heart for all He has to say. He shows me the best way I can enjoy my life. Jesus, Jesus, they never we apart. Please bring all your light to shine inside my heart. Jesus, Jesus, I can be content. I have your endless love and your protecting hand.
Quand la nuit tombait à Capharnaüm, la maison de pierre si simple, un foyer commun, s'emplissait de paix dans son cœur chacun, recueillait les paroles de lumière du Maître divin. Il me plaît de rêver, de me trouver aussi aux côtés de Jean, Simon, Jacques, André et Lévi, de planter dans nos âmes la sémence de la foi. La sémence que Jésus nous donne et qu'un jour poussera. Et je n'imagine enfant assez de chez Pierre j'entendrai sa voix à dire tu sens cette brise la lune, tu la vois, il faut repartir tout comme elle, puisque telle est la loi, et pendant ta terre en famille, tous les jours on se reverra. Et je m'imagine enfant à cet endroit-là, peut-être Jésus m'inviterait à sortir un soir dans les jardins de chez Pierre, j'entendrai sa voix à dire tu sens cette brise la lune, tu la vois, il faut repartir tout comme elle, puisque telle est la loi, et pendant ta terre en famille, tous les jours on se reverra. Et pendant ta prière en famille, tous les jours on se reverra.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to our meeting tonight. I'm so happy to be here and share with you our moment with the gospel according to Spiritism. To start our meeting, we'd like to ask you to turn off your phone notifications. That's going to be more easy to concentrate in our talks tonight. Also, to find a quiet place to, if it's possible, to make it easier. And also, I'd like to tell you that our meeting has a format of 30 minutes presentation followed by 10 minutes Q&A. So you are able to ask question and you're gonna have some answers. And after that, we have the spiritual treatment. So for the spiritual treatment, we'd like to ask you to set aside a container of water to be magnetized. And we have a special invitation.
What's reincarnation? Would you like to know more about it? So join us to start and learn together about this and many other topics.
This is a special moment for us to invite you to participate with us the free course about Spiritism. If you want to learn a little bit more, we're gonna be online this Saturday at 5:15 p.m. And the class from this Saturday will be the reincarnation. So everybody is welcome to participate with us, and feel free to come and bring your friends too. Get to know Spiritism. I'd also like to inform you can follow us through our Facebook page, Spiritism Canada. You can follow us at the Instagram And you can also follow us in the YouTube Spiritism Canada. And also, you can follow the Spiritism Path of Light in Instagram. So, to start our meeting, we'd like to invite you for our opening prayer. Sorry. For this moment, I'd like you to close your eyes if you feel comfortable and bring in your thoughts Jesus Christ, our Master, our brother that teach us all the love. And these moments to say thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus, for this opportunity to be here, connected, talking about your gospel, talking about your love for humanity. And also ask you, allow the good spirits to be with us, protecting our houses, our homes, protecting ourselves. And in this moment, ask a permission to protect the speaker tonight that's gonna talk about your love. So be it. So everybody is welcome. And again, we have some announcements. If you cannot see our transmission today, you can also follow those websites through the Facebook, uh, Spiritism Canada. You can see anytime. You can see in the Spiritism Canada YouTube anytime, or through Continental Conference, Conference Continental and America. You can follow all those places and see all the transmissions about the Spiritism Canada. And also, you can follow on Wednesday, it's retransmitted our meetings in the site of Kardec Radio through the Facebook and also the YouTube Kardec Radio every Wednesdays at 5 p.m. So tonight we have a special topic, the chapter 11 from the Gospel according to Spiritism, and talking about the law of love. But the specific part is loving one's neighbor and oneself, items 8 to 10. So for this moment, we'd like to invite our friend and speaker tonight, Veronica from Winnipeg. Hello, Veronica. How are you today?
Good, good. Hi, Publio. How are
I'm,
you?
I'm okay. How's Winnipeg today? Is cold like here in Toronto area,
It's a
or
little.
it's a wonderful place like always?
It's it was a wonderful cold day. It was cold, but it's still wonderful.
That's a signal that the winter time is coming, right? It's knocking the
Yes,
door.
but we had this the sunshine that was able to uh, embrace us during the cold day. So it was great still.
Okay. Thank you. I'm gonna leave you now and feel free
Okay.
and give us this chance to learn a little bit more about the gospel according to Spiritism. What the Spiritists have to say about this particular instruction from Jesus Christ. Thank you.
Exactly. We are going to study that together. Okay, so I'm just gonna share my screen. Um, it's already there. Here we go. Okay, yeah. So hello everyone. Uh, it's great to be here with all of you to study this section of the Gospel according to Spiritism. So as Publio said, we are on chapter 11, and today we are going to study items 8 to 10, which is the section at the end of the chapter that has the Spiritist teachings. So it's a selection of messages from the spirits regarding the topic of that chapter, loving one's neighbor as oneself. And for tonight, we have three messages from three spirits that Kardec selected to explain to us what is this law of love. So we start with item 8, um, a message from Lazare, the spirit Lazare, and he starts this message saying that love summarizes Jesus' doctrine in its entirety because it is the sentiment par excellence, and sentiments are instincts raised to the height of the degree of progress accomplished. So here he makes a distinction between sentiments and instincts. And we are going to reflect a little bit about these two words. So the spiritual Lazar explains that at their orange, at our orange, when we are created by God, humans have only instincts. And if we look in the dictionary, instinct is an innate, something natural, in a fixed pattern of behavior in animals. So it is a type of behavior that we cannot consciously control. It is automatic behavior that allows animals to survive. So, for example, the instinct for survival, right? If we animals see a predator, they will run, they will try to escape. So, these types of behavior are very important in the beginnings of living or simple living beings because they allow these creatures to survive. And us as living beings as well, we, when we are created, we are possessed with these instincts that try to keep us alive. But they are not conscious, they are not rational, right? But then the spirit explains that as we advanced, but is still advanced in a wicked way, right? We are not still perfect. We start to advance a little bit more, and these instincts convert into sensations. And if you go back to the dictionary again, sensation is a physical feeling. So this instinct that make us survive, that make us escape, that make us eat, that make us breathe, these types of instincts convert into this physical feeling and or perception of the world or perception of things that surround us that come that happens around us and get in contact with your body. So the sensation is all physical experience we have as we connect with the world. Again, this sensation is sort of automatic in the sense that when we feel, we tend to react to it, but in a little bit of conscious, but it's still we don't have a good control over it. So that's converts into sensations. And as the spirit becomes more educated and purified, as we evolve, as we acquire intelligence, more reasoning, these sensations turn into sentiments. And sentiment is a thought, is an opinion, an idea based on a feeling, based on something we feel about a situation or a way of thinking. So, sentiment is a much more evolved attitude because it require us thought. Require us reasoning, and that's where Lazarus explains that this is a more evolved level of dealing with our emotions and our sentiments. We are not reacting or overreacting or reacting to the environment or to a situation, but we are trying to make sense of it and think about the experiences we have with our physical body. So sentiment is are the emotions and feelings that we have to develop as we evolved. And the question is, where are we on this, right? Are we still in a state where we behave and we react to our in our lives using our instincts, or maybe we use our sensations to respond to the experiences we have in the world, or are we able to rationalize our experiences and feelings into sentiments that can really make us progress, understand our problems, and find solutions to the challenges we face in everyday life. And um, sometimes we use our instincts in usually in situations where we cannot use our reason at certain degree. So perhaps in a situation of fear, in a situation of desperation, or when we are angry, these negative emotions can bring us back to the instinct level that will make us create this attitude to try to protect ourselves and forget about reason. But sometimes we can, if we develop these more, if you are able to develop our and work our emotions better, we can progress to this level where sentiments can emerge from our spirit. So he makes this important distinction because the end point of our evolution is to experience the sentiment of love. So the Lazary explains that the sentiment of love that is taught by Jesus' teachings is not the ordinary sense of love that we see in this world, a pure sense of uh, care or love towards one single person or a group of people or the close family or people. Is not a selective type of love, if we can say like that, but it is the pure sentiment of love that is like an inner sun that condenses and joins at its ardent focal point all suprahuman aspirations and revelations. So he's saying here that love is the sentiment that converts all our deep desires and aspirations for our life. So, all the good things that we hope to get in our existence, that converts into love, because love contains all these true experiences that make us fulfill our life with joy and happiness. In that comes the law of love. So the law of love is the law that establishes that the personality, so myself as an individual, is not about myself anymore, but it is about the union of all beings. And this state of love, real love, is when we start to forget about ourselves and we think about all beings as being together. And the important part in this is that once this is achieved by all of us, this can extinguish societal misery, because now there is no separation between individuals because we are all in this together. And for that, we will not be able to see a person in suffering, because that pain, the suffering what someone experiences is the same as the suffering we have. So we don't wish suffering to ourselves, we won't wish suffering for nobody else. So that's what the law of love says. So it is this divine type of love where we embrace all the beings on earth and all creatures in humanity. Um, so Jesus spoke about the law of love, and later Spiritism add another important element to this law of love to make it so that the law of love makes sense and can be put in effect. So Spiritism has come to speak about another word of the divine alphabet, so another law. And the spiritual Lazarus says to pay attention because this word lifts the headstones from the empty graves. And that word is reincarnation. So Spiritism brings the concept of reincarnation that has all in all ways tries to fulfill the law of love. So he explains that the law of reincarnation no longer allow us to no longer leads to that to our to lead us to our deaths, but to the conquest of their own beings, elevated and transfigured. So in other words, death cannot be seen as was before, as we only have one birth, one life, and one death. But death is just the transition to another state. We lose our physical body, but our spirit is as alive as it was as we were incarnated. So blood redeemed the spirit, because blood, in the sense of our reincarnation, when we reincarnate, we go through experiences on earth, and this blood, or the pain, the suffering that we experience on earth, help us to redeem our spirits from past faults, from mistakes we did in the past in other lives. And today, the spirit must redeem humans from matter. So the idea here is that the message from the spirits coming from the Spiritism comes to redeem humans incarnated on earth, to free them from the attachment to materialism or to the matter, to our physical life, because our real life is way beyond this present reincarnation. So, at the orange, when we are created, humans only have instincts. Those who, and those of us who are still driven by instincts, this shows that we are still close to the starting point of our orange. So many times we see on the news tragedies, right? That sometimes is unbelievable to conceive that they are still happening these days. So deaths, tragedies, crimes that it's beyond our belief. And sometimes we, as human beings, we make many mistakes, and sometimes we go back to the state of instincts where um, our reactions to the world don't reflect the human beings we can be, that can be more evolved, more enlightened, use our intelligence in more balanced actions. So, in order for us to advance toward a goal, the goal of progression, the goal of uh, evolution, enlightenment, we must overcome our instincts and perfect our sentiments. So we need to make that a strong commitment for us to educate our sentiments so that we can progress in direction of being more enlightened and create in ourselves more peace. Love is the divine essence. The most criminal holds for another person or some object a living and ardent affection. So this other spirit, Fenelon, is talking that even the most criminal mind on earth, they still have some sort of affection inside them. They would like or have affection for a specific person or an object. And can be very strong, even though it is a person with a vicious mind. And that is because God, when create us, He creates us with the essence of love that we need to sublime and we need to develop in order to spread this love to other things. And following, he says that there are some to whom the trial of reincarnation is repugnant because it implies that others take part in the affectionate relationships of which they are jealous. So, because of the law of reincarnation, many times we made a bad. It could happen that we made a bad use of our love or the power of love that was on us, and we were not able in previous lives to develop affection in a peaceful way toward others. And it could happen that many times the sentiment of jealousy that develops inside us show a emotion that we need to work hard. And sometimes, as a trial in our reincarnation, we are surrounded by people that create this environment where we feel this jealousy around us toward other people or things. And that's a sign that we need to work in this reincarnation to make sense of this negative sentiment and try to develop the true love around others, because jealousy has to do with the sense of possession, right? That we want to take ownership around towards people or things, and that's not the idea of love, right? Love is liberating. Love makes you feel a state of the peace, and that's the opposite to what jealousy would do. So, in order to practice the law of love as God intended, you must progressively arrive at loving all your brothers and sisters indiscriminately. So, that's the goal in the law of love. We need to love everybody equally with no discrimination. The task will be long. So the Spirit is already telling us that it will be long and difficult, but it shall be accomplished. Because we are created by God in order to achieve this point of sublime love. And Jesus said, love your neighbor as yourself. Now, the question is, who is my neighbor, right? To what extent is my neighbor? Is my neighbor next door? Is my neighbor 3 doors away? Maybe my neighbor on the other corner of the street. But the whole humankind is my neighbor. So, no matter the physical distance or the differences in our culture, the language we speak, our level of education, we are all neighbors. And so, this law of love determines that we will get to a point where we will be sharing and spreading love towards everybody. And the effects of the law of love are the moral betterment of the human race and happiness during the earthly life. If we can do this exercise of closing our eyes and imagine a world where love is spread towards every single heart on earth, towards every single heart on earth, from one to another, we can imagine a world free of much of the lot of all the misery that we humans being created. For sure, we will still have situations where um, uh, natural disasters, for example, things that we may not be able to control, or diseases, types of diseases, illnesses, and we might have suffering, but we will be able to be uh, to give a hand to somebody, to spread a word of consolation, and that will create a much easier um, experience in terms of us helping each other to go through the difficulties as well. So the most rebellious and the meanest shall reform themselves. So even the people who don't believe in this law of love, or that we should love everybody or love one another and our neighbor, they will see the effects and the benefits of doing it. And that's the important part that we should practice to serve as an example. And the key thing is, do not do unto others what you would not want to do unto you. And then these words will be put in practice by simply not doing and treating others as we would like to be treated. We probably would be living in a happy world. And earth will then be purified when we achieve that level, and by that sacred fire, the fire of love, and we will start to see the practice of charity, humility, patience, devotion, self-denial, resignation, and sacrifice. So all these virtues are precursors of the ultimate love taught by Jesus. So as we start to practice this, we'll get closer and closer towards the true love. So as an exercise, we could all try in our daily lives, insert in our daily lives, in our activities, a little bit of charity, a little bit of humility, a little bit of sacrifice sometimes, and resignation. And that will make us a little bit closer to the true love. So and then he ends by talking about John the Evangelist when he was very old already, right, in exile. He was already weak and he could not teach or spend long hours talking and preaching and teaching the gospel. He would simply say, "My little children, love one another." So, in the moments where we feel angry or we feel desperate or we feel even indignation, right, revolt towards others, we have to remember that we are all children of the same God. And perhaps we should remember these words of John Evangelist, right? My little children, love one another. So now the end of this message, it's a special message from for Spiritists. So the Spirit Sanson, he makes a statement about the message, the specific messages uh, received from spirits. So he says that the spirits presented here, right, in the meeting, to tell you through my voice, right? So he says, love much so that you may be loved. So he's not saying be loved and then you can start loving other people. No, he's saying on the other way around, right? He'd say that give love first, and then you may be loved. Sometimes we are looking for the opposite, right? Sometimes we are looking for being loved first, and then I'll give love, right? Then I'll love someone. But no, he's saying the opposite. We have to start inside out, right? He has to start from us. And he says that if you do this, if you love much, you will find everything that consoles and assuages the hardships of your day. So he's prescribing a medication here. He's talking about loving and not little, love much, and then you find consolation to the difficulties we face every day. And he goes further saying, what means this love, right? What is love anyway, right? It's not the love, the romance love that we hear in songs, right? In romantic movies. No, it is a different type of love. It's a sublime love. It's being loyal, honest, and conscientious in order to do unto others what we want to be done towards us. So is be loyal to this rule, right? So if we are always doing to other people what we would like them to do to us, we will be achieving love, right? But we have to start. Love means searching around ourselves for the inner meaning of all the hardships that oppress your brothers and sisters. So look deep inside when we see somebody suffering. What are the meaning of that suffering? What is the meaning of the difficulty? So if we have a coworker that we have difficulty interacting, our relationship is difficult. So we have to do a investigation of the source of that difficulty, right? And in order for us to bring them relief. So we need to understand in everything that it's in our, that we can, in our power to help them to go through the hardship. So that's what love means. Love means regarding the great human family as one's own. So now we don't have our family tied by blood, right? By our parents, our close family, our relatives. The family is the entire world. And we have to understand that even when we face people that have different thoughts from us, different attitudes, and even attitudes that we do not approve, these are, like us, children of God, and they are destined to evolve forever. So even the most person on earth that we might consider evil and with bad attitudes, they will evolve because the law of progress determines that we all be evolved and reach the infinite love. So just to finish then, we must not refuse our brothers and sisters what God has freely given you, because you, on your part, will be very happy if your brothers and sisters give you what you need. So it touches about charity, right? What we have in surplus, or what we have that was given to us that we can give to others. It's not about giving money or material things if we have a extra, something extra, but it is about a word of hope or support for those who are suffering. So we can use our skills and our abilities to help in many ways. And and then um yes, and then and he gives it looks a long way, right, a long path, but he teaches that he gives us some words of encouragement. This spirit tells that you have already gained much, you who are listening to me, right? This is for message for spiritists, for people who are studying spiritism. You are infinitely better than you were 100 years ago. So imagine ourselves in another reincarnation. We are much better than we were before, and we'll be much better in 100 years from now as well. So you have changed so much for your own good. So let's reflect about, even in this life, what we can remember we improve in our behavior, in our sentiments, in the way how we interact with people. We all have improvements that we should be proud of, and it should motivate us to continue our ascension towards being better human beings. And so, in today, we might be accepting things with no complaints, and new ideas that will create a better sense of liberty and fraternity around us. That perhaps before we were just so too selfish to actually accept different ideas. And that's where the ideas of justice comes from the teachings of this spiritism. That will be a learning, a lesson that will be spread towards the world. So spiritism help us to have this understanding about what is divine justice, what is the law of love in divine love. And everything you end up linked together, because that's the desire of God for us to find unity and peace in that. And the law of love one another is the rule we have to follow in order for us to live. And incarnated spirits will join hands throughout the confines of our planet. So that's not something that's going to happen isolate in the world. So we will all be learning to be brothers and sisters around the world, to understand and love one another and destroy all injustice that cause misunderstanding around people. And I'm going to end the study, the reflection today, with a message from Benjamin Franklin, a quote from Benjamin Franklin, that when you are good to others, you are best to yourself, right? So let's try to think about being best. Try to be best to ourselves and do this exercise. Just try, right, to love more and see what can come, because the spirits are affirming, right? They are saying very clearly that we can get good things from that. So thank you very much. That's all I have today. Um, and I'm going to stop sharing here.
Hello, Veronica.
Hello.
You gave us so many explanations and give me more curiosity to know. There's some questions here, but I'm gonna put them together. And I know a lot of things we're gonna learn in the Spiritism, the free course that we have on Saturdays. But when you when you said about instincts, sensations, and sentiments, uh, when you control those sentiments, the good sentiments in your life, because everybody, like you said, even though the not good people have the sentiment, they have a kind of love. So when we control this, the sentiment, like the sentiment called love, how this influence in our reincarnation, or how the incarnation influence in the evolvement those sentiments.
Yes. Yeah, good question, Publio. So, sentiments are treasures of the spirit, right? We don't lose sentiments, good or bad, when we die, when we lose our physical body. They get into our spirit. So any good or bad sentiment we cultivate, we grow, right? We water, we treat here during this life, we take with us. So if we are full of anger, we will discarnate in anger, and we'll bring this anger with us, right, in the spiritual world. And perhaps, and we need to dissolve that, right? We need to clear that up. So you might have to reincarnate to practice that again, right? That's the good example of jealousy, right? Jealousy is something that is part of our spirit, right? If we have that sentiment inside of us, if we have that emotion inside of us, so we need to work that out in order to free ourselves from that, right? So that comes, and that's why that spirit, right? Samson says that we it takes a few reincarnations, 100 years, to actually see us purifying our spirit from these sentiments.
Wow. And this is the theme for the next class on Saturday, reincarnation. And there's a lot of questions, but I know that we will continue next week about the same subject. We have three more messages from Spirits 2. And I'm going to leave some for the next week. And just say the love, the sentiment called love, it's the goal of all of us. So it means all of, in when we think like, oh, it's a goal, it's a new thing. No, it's not new. Jesus Christ said this 2,000 years ago, and we are still far away from this sentiment called love, right?
Yeah.
When I say far away, it's because we have moments with love. We are like, I'm talking about myself. I don't have all the time this love that require all those spirits told. I understand I'm better than 100 years ago. Oh, thanks God. I would be very terrible, feeling terrible. But the good things is the consoler. Spiritism is a consoler, right? And give us this opportunity to study and understand those laws. And we'd like to thank you very, very much to clarify, to open our minds and open our hearts to think about this. Was very, very special, Veronica.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a simple law, right? You just have to follow the law of love. Everything will convert to it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank, thank you very, very
Thank
much.
you very much.
Have a great night.
Thank
Thank you. So, in order to continue our meeting, we have a spiritual treatment. But what is a spiritual treatment? That's the question. It consists in pass. What is pass? Pass is a transfusion of spiritual energy assisting our physical, emotional, and mental balance. To best benefit from the spiritual treatment, please follow the guide audio instructions or remain in prayer. You may close your eyes to help you in the mentalization. Again, the water that you put aside will receive healing energies for all our body and soul, which you and your family can be benefit from. So this is a spiritual treatment. So we also now we're gonna do a final prayer. So for this, I'd like to invite you to once more time to close your eyes. Prepare your spirit to receive all the energies that come from the spiritual world. In these moments, think in a beautiful place with the sun, green vegetations around, thinking about the water, and see Jesus Christ open the arms to us, toward us, inviting us to come to Him, come to His love, learning about His love. Dear God, in these moments, we would like to ask you a permission to finish our meeting, starting that spiritual treatment, and also allow the good spirits to be with us, preparing our hearts to these beautiful moments. So be it.
Let us now prepare ourselves for the moment of the passes and the magnetization of water. Let's now calm our hearts, breathing in and out. Pay attention to your body. Focus on your breath and let yourself be carried by this energy. Let your thoughts pass by without judging them. Let them flow. Allow this light to be the beacon that guides you, and allow these words to penetrate your energy. Make each word an anchor of gratitude, faith, and trust. With the purpose of healing, which takes away my faith, healing every feeling of separation, of pain, let it all dissolve in this moment, leaving only love, gratitude, and trust. We ask God for the presence of our guardian angel and the friendly spirits who welcome us into this enlightened environment of our Spiritist Center. We open our plexus of love and forgiveness by mentalizing a light surrounding our hearts. Find a quiet and comfortable place to begin the mentalization process. Remove all worries from your thoughts. We ask that during the pass you breathe slowly and deeply. Let your body relax and surrender yourself to a deep meditation. Calmly imagine divine energies in soft and colorful light surrounding you in an environment of peace and spiritual warmth. Entrusting God with your most intimate desires, raise your thoughts to Jesus and the emissaries of the spiritual environment. The pass begins with the cleansing of your soul. Imagine a waterfall of crystal clear water pouring over us, removing all the feelings that keep you away from faith and trust. Feel the energy of this water bathing you and deeply breathe in, feeling peace and harmony. Allow this water to wash away all the impurities and spiritual larvae, washing away all the sorrows and resentments, any feelings of hatred and revenge that hold us back and cause us harm, not only from this life, but past ones as well. Now visualize spiritual doctors around you, applying magnetic cleansing passes, sanitizing your spiritual body of all sadness and negative energy. Mentalize these negative thoughts and feelings being washed away, evaporating from your soul, like water evaporating into thin air, and being carried far away from your mind, Surround yourself with the faith that bathes your being, bringing clarity and lucidity, rebalancing every cell in your body. May the water envelop all pain and bring the clarity of opportunity that chooses peace. The answer arises in our hearts, freeing us from all evil and freeing all whom we have caused evil into and who have caused us evil, washing away all the connections that bind us. Even though we may not understand, we are freeing ourselves from all that causes us harm. Feel this cleansing penetrate your soul and release. Now that we are spiritually cleansed, imagine yourself surrounded by the light of love from the hands of Jesus. At this moment, sing words of faith and gratitude, being faithful to the light that exists in me, planted by the zealous Father. Imagine the sunlight that surrounds and enraptures, freeing us from the chains of everything that holds us down, strengthening your faith. Allow yourself to trust in this light, surrender to it, involved in pleasant feelings and feeling relieved to receive the strengthening lights. Mentalize your spiritual mentors now applying divine light for the strengthening of your mind and your emotions, leaving you feeling emotionally revitalized. Let us now mentalize the magnetization of this water. May we mentalize all the friendly spirits, magnetizing this water and filling it with everything that our bodies, minds, and soul need, so that it may be of help to us when we drink it after the pass. Thank you, God.
Hello, everybody. I'd like to say thank you to all of you that was here with us, incarnated and disincarnated. Was a pleasure being here and was a very good opportunity to clarify a lot of things about the gospel of Jesus Christ, especially tonight talking about the love the neighbor. So I learned a little bit more, and like she said in her talk, I know that now much better than 100 years ago. And learning those, I'll be better in the next 100 years. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful week. Come back next Tuesday at the same time, 8:30, and participate with us. God bless us. Oh, thank you.
Someone told me long ago that life is just a long road. Sorry, mate, but life to me is way much more. No matter what it seems to be, it's always time to make a change. Sometimes all we need is only one more chance. So try. Build that bridge over troubled waters, fly. If that's all that you have left to do, I want more. I want more happy sunny days. I want more happy smiles on your face. Love sparkling the eyes. Tears no more, no more sorrows, no more bad days. No more cries, no more dark hole. No more fear, no more fight. Sometimes all we need is only one more chance. So try, build a bridge over troubled water, fly. If that's all that you have left to do, I want more. I want more happy sunny days. I want more happy smiles on your face. Love sparkling in the eyes. Tears no more, no more sorrow, no more bad days. No more cries, no more dark cold place. No more fear, no more fight. I want more happy sunny days. I want more happy smiles on your face. Love sparkling in the eyes. Tears no more sorrow, no more bad days. No more cries, no more dark cold place. No more fear, no more fight. Let the sun